Good morning. I had a special request for my bread from one of my followers, and so I thought I'd go ahead and share the recipe with you, how I do it. First, I'm going to start off. I have unbleached, all-purpose, non-GMO flour. I have about 7.5 cups here of just white flour. You can take a cup or two out and add wheat or white wheat flour to it if you'd like. Okay, and then 2 cups of really warm water between 115 and 130. Reason for that is I use instant yeast, or yeah, I call it instant. We have 2 cups of water. Here we have about 2 tablespoons, slightly less, of instant yeast, 1 egg from my own chickens, and then here I have about a 1/4 cup of powdered milk. Yeah, sorry about that. You can use milk instead of water, you just have to warm it up. Okay, and here I have about 1.5 teaspoons of salt. And I don't normally use sugar, I use honey. I have about a 1/4 cup of honey. And then in here today I'm using avocado oil. There's about a 1/4 cup of avocado oil. I just put that in there, makes it easy to get it all out. Okay, push that over for me. And where's my bread hook? Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to put most of the flour in here because depending on your humidity level, depends on how much flour you'll need. Normally I don't measure this close. And
I need to read
even today I'm still not measuring that close. Now I put about a little over half of it in there. Then I'm going to put in my dry ingredients, except for the salt. I don't put the salt in yet. I'm going to put in my powdered milk, and my yeast, and then I'm going to mix that around a bit. The reason you don't put the salt in is you don't want the salt directly on top of the yeast. Salt is one of those agents that it helps keep your bread from rising too much. The sugar helps it to rise. The salt helps stabilize it so it doesn't rise so quite so much. Now that that's mixed in, I'm going to break in my egg. Having fresh eggs, I found it habit to break it into a little thing. You can put 2 eggs in if you want. I just like one works fine for us.
What would happen if you put in 2?
You just get a little richer. If you put in 2 eggs, you get a little bit of a richer dough. Okay. Put in my water. And then I'm going to put in my honey and oil.
Showing the thing how well it came out.
So I put the oil in first. And then the honey, it just came right out. Did it stick or nothing? Is it sticking to my spoon? But not to the bowl. Okay, now I'm going to put my bread dough hook in. You can do this by hand. I'm lazy, I guess. Let's put that up there. Get that started mixing, and then I will add my salt.
This is on the lowest setting.
Yeah, this is on 1. On these machines, they say not to go above 2 for your kneading. Right now I'm mixing, and it's pretty good. That's number 2. Can you see in there real well?
I can see it. A little bit. You want to? I mean, I can.
Yeah, I think now is a good time for it to come up and it can look down.
I'm going to readjust, so we'll be back in a minute.
Yeah, we'll be back in a minute. He's going to readjust the camera. Okay, so it's starting to mix. I'm going to stop it here and knock the flour down off the side here. We are going to need more flour, but I like to get it started mixing before I decide how much flour to add. Okay, I'm going to start adding in flour a little bit at a time, and when we get close to the consistency that I like, we will be right back. Okay, we're not up to the point yet where it's done, but I don't know if you can see it real well, but it's starting to pick up all the flour off the edge of the bowl. And
you want to be careful how much you put in.
I still have over a cup of flour here waiting on the side, but it'll be sticking to the bottom of the bowl, and then I will add flour until it no longer sticks to the side of the bowl. It'll be a smooth dough, and it'll just feel really, really nice when you're pushing on it and you just take it out and do the final kneading. Okay, I'll bring you back when it sticks to the bottom of the bowl. Okay, I don't know if you can see it real well or not, but there's the dough sticking a little bit to the bottom. So we'll start adding a little bit of flour at a time, and then let it go. And if it's still sticking, add a little more flour, and so on until we get it to the consistency that we like. Okay, today we're pretty moist, I guess, because it only took about a little over 6 cups of flour. And I'm going to go ahead and stop it here so I can show you. See how it's still kind of, you can see the little holes there. It's not smooth enough yet. We're going to knead it for about 5, maybe 10 minutes, and then we'll come back and we'll knead it on the machine for about 5 or 10 minutes, then we'll come back and do some shapes and breads and stuff.
Good.
About a little over 5, 6, 7 minutes, and we're going to obviously see the bottom, how it's all clean, there's nothing sticking to it. So we're going to turn it off, and we're going to take the dough out. Your dough should be tacky, but not sticky. Set that aside there.
Or you could just drop it on the floor.
Yeah. So I'm going to take the bowl off the machine and push it out of the way.
What's the coffee cup?
And then I'm going to put a little bit of flour, because I don't want it to stick to my board.
Okay, we probably need to mount this. We need to mount this.
Okay, you can go ahead and mount it. Okay, we're going to put about a tablespoon or so of oil in the bottom of the bowl. This will help keep it from sticking to the bowl after it's risen. Today I'm using avocado oil. I use olive oil. Sometimes I just use butter. Just melt the butter and put it in instead of any oils. Just depends on how you want to do it. I mean, okay, so that's good. And so if you see the dough, it's like I said, it's a little bit sticky, but it's not sticky. It's a little bit tacky. And I hope you can see how smooth this dough is turned out. You knead it for about 50 times here. I haven't counted. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But it feels really good to me right now, so I don't think I need to go more than that. Can you see how smooth? I sure hope you can, because it's really a nice feeling dough. See, it's not sticking to my hands or anything. So now what we're going to do, set that aside. We're going to take this dough, put it in the bowl, move it around, and then flip it over. and then flip it over. Everything's welcome. What that does, it helps it while it's rising. It doesn't stretch out or do anything. Now, because I'm using instant yeast, depending on the warmth of your kitchen, it'll take anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes for it to double in size. So what I'm going to do, my kitchen's very cool today. It's 69 degrees. So my oven has a proofing setting in it, which goes up to 110 degrees. We have it set at 100. I took a dish towel, got it damp, and wrung it out. And we're going to set it in the oven and let it double in size. Okay, here she is, doubled in thing, and give it a little press and see how it pops back up. It's good and raised. Put a little bit of flour on my counter here. I'm going to deflate it some. I don't know if you can hear it squeaking at you. No. Just such a nice smooth dough. Yeah. I'm going to make a loaf, and I'm going to make what we call baps, or basically it's a hamburger bun. But I want to see how much weight I've got on my dough. Okay, it's zeroized out. I'll put that in there. Okay, it's 3.5 pounds, just over 3.5 pounds. So I'm going to cut it in about half. There's 1 pound and 6 ounces. 2 pounds and 2 ounces. So I'm going to 2 pounds. Okay, I'm going to use that back in the bowl. I'm going to dig and knead this together, get all the air out of it. Last bread I made, I had holes in it, and I wasn't pleased with it. Everybody tells me it tastes good. I don't eat the bread, do I, dear?
I can't.
So you just kind of push it together, get all the air out of it as best as you can, so that there's no gaps in it. And then this typically makes about 2 loaves, and I usually do more because if you have the smaller KitchenAid, this is all you want, is 7 to 8 cups of flour. You don't want to use that. And then my big one here, I do all right. So I like to line my pans, they're pretty old pans, with parchment. I don't have to grease it, I don't have to do nothing. Just put it in there.
Tell them how to line them.
Yeah.
Tell them how to line them.
Oh, okay, let me put that aside. When I've got my piece of paper, you know, you get the paper out and it's all flat like this. Little tip for you. Take another pan, put it on there and push it down. And that'll form it to fit your loaf pan. And then you put this in there, and we'll set it aside.
You want back in the fridge?
No, that's just going to stay out. It's going to take longer to proof. I want it to take longer to proof. Now, you can use, and I forgot to mention, I'm using instant yeast. If you use regular yeast, your raising time will be a lot longer. Where this, I mean, this took 20 minutes to rise, 10 to 20 minutes. Like I said, it just depends on your thing. Okay, so I'm going to make my buns at about 2 ounces. There's 2 1/4 ounces. 1 1/8.
1 1/8.
7/8. There's 2 3/8. You know, not perfect, but
You can if you want to go
I
over
like to keep
trouble.
it at about 2 ounces. Or you could just two and 3/4. So you get a, usually sometimes you just get a real good idea of it. Like, okay, here's about that much dough. It's 2.5 ounces. You don't have to weigh it. You just figure it out.
Well, you could also divide
Yes.
those.
You could take, oh, let's take a chunk here and let's see. That's 5 ounces. 5 5/8. Okay, there's just over 6 ounces. You can pitch that about 2 ounces off of there. About 2 ounces off of there. That one's bigger. Two 2 3/8. 1 3/4. So this one needs to go down a little bit. As if you want them to be the exact same size. You don't have to do that. Like I said, there. Usually my buns are different sizes. Just depends on what you want them to look like, you know. Now I'm going to make something we call baps. It's something we would buy in England a lot. It's basically a hamburger bun. They use it for making sandwiches. You can have cheese sandwich, or you can have cheese and onion, or onion and cucumber, or cheese and cucumber. Just depends. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Okay, I'm gonna get 14.
We'll come back.
Thanks. We'll come back when we get ready for that.
Okay.
Let me get one that I haven't messed with. Just taking it, flatten it out, fold it over on itself, bring it up into a thing. And I've always liked to put it in my fingers and push it through and then squeeze it tight. That seals the bottom. And then I like to give it a little roll. And we're making baps today. Like I said, it's like a hamburger bun. We're gonna flatten it out some, and then we're going to put it on the pan. Okay, do the same thing here. Flatten it out. And put it on the pan. You want to give it about an inch, 1.5 inches in between the rolls. And squeeze it through, squeeze it on the bottom, flatten it out, and there's the third one. Now we'll be back when I get them all made. Okay, welcome back. Got them set up here. I want them to be kind of up. These are a little bit closer than I like, but that's just the way it is. We will put these back in the oven to proof, and then we'll be back when they rise. Okay, these are about ready. We got our oven preheating to 350 degrees. Now I'm going to, whoa, woohoo! That was too much.
Yeah, you're gonna have to drop the. Look at your cup here.
I'm just dusting them lightly with Yeah, I'm just gonna do it by hand. This helps keep them from getting over browned, I guess. I don't know why they did it, but
that's why.
it's just something they always did in England. It's like, okay, when I'm gonna put them in the oven, and then we'll be back when they're finished. Okay, here you go, bats or hamburger buns or whatever you want to call them. Give me a knife. Which one do you want? This big one?
Sure.
Okay. There's the nice crumb. Pretty on both top and bottom. There you go. So you'll see them tomorrow in our soup video. Thanks for coming along and have a great day.